Plenty of friendlies in Europe today. Let's take a look at some of them in a bit more detail. The Dutch could only manage a 2-2 draw against Scotland. Memphis Depay getting a brace in that game. Meanwhile, Saka's first goal for England was enough to see them beat Austria by 1-0. Thomas Muller returned to the German squad, but couldn't inspire a victory. They could only manage a 1-1 draw against Denmark. Meanwhile, France with a convincing win against 10-man Wales. Mbappe, Griezmann and Dembele on the score sheet. Let's start with the World Champions, shall we, Jules? I suppose, with regards to the big story going into this game, was Karim Benzema's return.
You're right, Dan. That's all people have been talking about, to be fair, for the last 10 days or even since the squad was announced. And today he made his debut, his comeback, the first time in 5 years and 237 days or something like that. And he looked good, I thought. He looked sharp. He missed the penalty. He hit the post as well, so he could have been even better than what it was. But what we were all looking for was his understanding with Mbappe and Griezmann and see if they were not making the same move, not walking on each other's toes. And I think for a first game together, for a first time together for 17 minutes or something, they looked pretty good. They were all just looking at each other, understanding each other, the movement, the bearings together and all of that. And I think it was really promising, even if Wales were down to 10 men, because the referee decided to ruin the game by sending off Nico Williams when he didn't really need to.
Yeah, it was a strange decision, wasn't it, considering it was a friendly and it's all supposed to be about preparation for the Euros. Jules, France is stacked, man. You look at that, you've got to win this, otherwise it's a massive failure.
Yeah, thanks for the pressure. And I think if you add Karim Benzema to an already World Cup winning squads, I think of course it makes them even stronger, and we saw it today. I mean, he's 33, but he was so good. The movement, the first touches are always amazing with Karim Benzema, and there's so much more to come, I think, because the more he will play with Mbappe, Griezmann, Pogba, Rabiot, Coman, Dembele, Kanté, all of them, the better he will be, the better this team will be. Whether this formation that we saw, the 4-3-1-2, is the right one, I'm not so sure. I'm still not completely convinced by Griezmann as a number 10. However, there's so many possibilities, options, solutions to problems even. They can change through the game. We saw today Dembele and Coman coming on and having a good impact on the game too. So it's really, really promising and really exciting.
Meanwhile, you had Benzema returning for France, Jurgen. Thomas Muller returning to Germany.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, everybody's returning. So you just need to be over 30 and you come back, you know. And for Thomas Muller, even, you know, with his favorite number 25, they created 3 more roster spots now in the European Championship. They added, you know, up to 26, so they can squeeze Thomas Muller into that. You know, no, I mean, joking aside, he looks good. Thomas Muller, I mean, he played an outstanding season for Bayern Munich. And he's a team player. He's a team player. He knows exactly what to do on the field. He's a leader. He can give really a lot of support to Gnabry and Sané, to the youngsters up front there. And he's feisty. He's a fighter and a winner. And so, I mean, the overall performance was okay from Germany today against Denmark. They had majority of the game for them. They hit 2 posts. Gnabry hit one in the first half, then Kimmich in the second half. They should have actually won that game. Denmark, you know, was waiting almost like a wake-up call for the first German goal, and then they came, and Poulsen scored a nice goal from a pass from Christian Eriksen. But that was pretty much the only chance that Denmark had in the entire 90 minutes. So overall was an okay performance, and it was very important, obviously, for Germany to reintegrate Thomas Muller and Mats Hummels in the back line. They're looking sharp.
Yeah, and what did we learn today about Germany heading into the Euros?
Well, I think that, yes, they were a better side against Denmark, but still a fantastic Christian Eriksen pass and a Poulsen goal. And you imagine the last game they played was North Macedonia, and they lost Germany. And if you have a look at the group they were in with Hungary, with Portugal, with France, Germany could be knocked out after the first round. And I'm not saying that I hope that, but they have to find themselves. They have to use these days very good. Normally, Germans are good at doing that in the preparation ahead of big championships. But I'm a bit doubtful of their defense. I mean, Süle not at his best. Hummels is a great football player, not the best defender. And they conceded today again. So I think what the Germans will say is hop on the top with this team. I'm not sure where they're going. I think they just have to find themselves.
Just one point, Jurgen. Next time you're on, can you just make sure that the magazine or whatever it is behind you? I don't think anyone needs to see you with beautiful Her Majesty the Queen, you lifting the trophy, which of course should have been England's back in '96.
I'm really sorry.
You're not sorry at all. That's the
I'm really sorry. I got to decorate it somehow.
Jurgen, what's the vibe in Germany going into this tournament?
Well, it's as Jan said. I mean, there's a question mark. There's a question mark there. Obviously, it's 25 years since the last time that Germany won the European Championship, and that's a long time. And so the Germans that's part of our nature. We're very impatient. So they have to prove a point. They really have to prove a point. They had a disaster in Russia 3 years ago, and they have to make people forget that disaster. So that's one side of it. The other side of it is really that a group of players now, they have to take matters in their own hands, and they have to get through this very, very difficult group there with France and Portugal, and not to underestimate a Hungarian team. So anything can happen already at the group stage. But the goal is very simple, because the expectations in Germany are always the highest because of who that football nation is and what they did in the past and so forth. So they expect Germany to get it somehow into the final. And obviously, Jogi Löw, he wants to have a very positive farewell of his time as head coach of the German national team. He's been now the coach for 15 years and obviously won the World Cup in 2014 in Brazil. But there's a question mark, and I agree with Jan.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.